So it's been a few days, right? We are back. Having a lot of issues with this truck. I think it's just a lot of this salt that's been built over the years, you know. I tell you what, we're back stronger. So check it out. This is OEM. This OEM costs over $300. This costs $80 on Amazon. I mean, yeah. OEM says you need to have something big, but two of those big ones, man, from my past experience, you really didn't need that huge of a freaking thing right there. And that huge, that big, at 600,000 miles, that should not be busting if you ask me. So we're gonna give it a shot. We're gonna give this one a shot. It can't be that bad. Like, all it's doing is assisting it from like a little bit of a few degrees. And yeah, you guys are absolutely correct. Right here, that salt does something different to that freaking metal, man. Like, yeah, I had to remove the whole bracket, hammer that thing out, not to hammer it too hard because you could flatten the tip of that, right? And you just gotta work it slowly, man. Oh my goodness. I think this truck is gonna be a little bit more difficult than your average Joe truck. that rust is gonna make it more difficult. So I'm gonna give this shock a shot and see how it's gonna hold up. I mean, like, I'm not too concerned that, you know, because like I said, all you're doing really is you're holding this from going too far back and bending your hinges. That's all you're doing. And that one is also busted. Like, at 600,000 miles, both of them busting. I think that's poor quality in material, if you ask me. So I'll give this one a shot. You know, like, I think actually I want to put one on and then go try it and see how it's gonna work. And listen, if you haven't subscribed already to the channel, I don't know what you're waiting for, really. Because, I mean, come on, how are you gonna get an in-depth, closer look to an insight to an owner-operator's life? This is what we do, man. Okay, well, verdict. It's not gonna work. So I knew they were a little shorter than OEM, but I did not know that you need the full range of the OEM. I thought I'd get away with just like having it slightly lowered, the hood, but it's way too low and it would never hold up. Like, you would bust these in no time, or like, I don't know if you can, like, maybe a little bit of wind would push it down when you have these things on, even on both sides. So yeah, we're not working with these. I guess it's OEM. The good thing is I am a Prime member, therefore we can easily return those. $0 on us to return. So hey, you know what, that's why I always order on Amazon if possible. Well, we're burning daylight, so we gotta move on to other things. So I'm gonna go ahead and this is gonna be your best friend. That salt has nothing on WD-40. I'm gonna go ahead and just pre-soak these. All the bolts. While that WD-40 is soaking, we're gonna go ahead and take care of the belts. I was trying to get up on the top to show you on camera that there is a belt pattern on top. On any engine that you do, really, they'll have some type of belt pattern on the top somewhere, right, for you to do the belt. But I was looking, and look at this, right? I'm quite certain there's supposed to be a freaking clamp on there to keep that from vibration. That's your AC line. Look at that. That looks like the low. Yeah, that's the low side. It's your high side. But look at that. See? And, oh, here it is. Look at that. There goes the clamp that's supposed to be on there. So I gotta make sure I make a note. and we have to fix that. So on this tensioner right here, see, it's just problems after problems we're running into. I feel like there's some groove on there. We're gonna go ahead and replace that. All you need to break that belt loose is, this is a Pittsburgh one. I've had this for years, man. I believe I got this for like $80-something. I don't know if they still make this one, this particular one, but really anything with that is like longer bar like so would work. You really don't need the one that's specifically for belts. Oh, look at that. I found the belt pattern. But you don't need the one specifically for the belt. I mean, I think for me, I think it's a waste of money. There are times that you're gonna need that, but on cars, I believe on cars you could definitely use that. But on trucks, there's plenty of space. That's why. So all you need really is that to get in. Dang, wow. Cummins is really tight, man. It's not like your Detroit. Detroit is very, you got a lot more room than this, that's for sure. You have to be a little bit more careful doing this because, oh, is it going up? It is going up. Because like when you loosen that tension, you want to make sure this bar is not hitting on anything, you know, especially these AC lines. I think about right there. You don't need to go too far. And then you just take it off from the alternator and just let her go. You see, oh yeah, that would have hit. See, boom, just like that. And we have a lot of room and tension on that. Just remember the position of your bar. You want to put it back the same way you're pulling it out, so when you push it in, you have the same amount of space on there. If you're doing this for the first time, just take your time, man. Take your time, take mental note on what's going on or what's it look like, so you can put it back easily, you know, or you can have some type of idea. And if you have to take a picture, take a picture. I'm finding a lot of things, you know, but this is the thing though, like it seemed like at 600,000 miles you should not be having this many issue with this truck, you know. I don't like the direction that we're headed. It's easy stuff, but there's a lot of little stuff, a lot of little easy stuff, you know. And that tells me this truck was dogged out, you know, or it wasn't taken care of, you know, during its time. So I don't like that, you know. I'm finding out the hard way that that salt that salt on the road does some crazy stuff to your freaking parts, man. Not easy. Everything is corroded. Everything is stuck and rusty. Hasn't broken my spirit though. 3 hours and let me show you what we got done so far. So we know the hood shocks was a fail. We already got that. That's the first thing this morning. We also know that the belt is also a semi-fail. Here's what's happening with the belts. We got both of the belts out, right? Got her out. Looking good. I think I'm gonna leave that tensioner on there. That looks fairly new and it's got pretty good tension on there. So that tensioner we need to take out, but I don't have the Allen key to remove it. So that's why I say it's semi-fail. Now I was like, well, I gotta do something, right? Remember I said if I don't feel like I got anything accomplished, I kind of lose motivation. So I started on the shocks. Well, they're stuck, like weld shut right there on the bottom. I expected that. This one is also weld shut at the bottom. So we'll go ahead and soaking them, and we're giving it all we got. And look at this, right? I'm quite certain this shock is probably still factory. Look at this. Like, how are you supposed to take that bolt out? Boy, I tell you, those factory boys, I'm pretty sure they have instructions to put that bolt this way instead of the other way. That's it's a 1-inch size bolt, right? And look, it doesn't fit on there. Same thing. So I was like, you know what? Let's go to the back. I get to the back, and that one right there, oh, she's not moving. We got us a 1/2-inch Makita, a 1/2-inch Makita impact, and she is not moving. Now, this one started moving. This one started moving, but it got stuck right there. See, these nuts, these are called lock nuts, right? They're self-locking nuts, but they have that little plastic thing on there, and that thing gets stuck. We have a solution for that, though. You can probably somewhat tell that I am a little frustrated and I'm a little beat, but not defeated, because this ain't nothing to me. I've seen a lot worse than this. Guess what? I didn't want to use this, but I guess we're just gonna have to have fun. I think I'm not gonna get anything done today. We got some things to do before 5 o'clock, so it's already 1 o'clock. I think I'm gonna wrap it up. I know I said I had 5 hours or whatever. I was hoping to leave at 3 o'clock, but I don't think we're gonna get anything else done today. So I'm just gonna put up stuff, and then we'll see y'all tomorrow, man. We're not gonna end this video here. We're gonna end this video with some type of success. Trust me on that. So it's been a few days, right? We are back. Having a lot of issues with this truck. I think it's just a lot of this salt that's been built over the years, you know. Up there in the Maine area, some people are saying that these trucks belong to Maine, like Falcon or something like that, fucking Falcon Trucking or some kind of something like that. But anyway, I tell you what, we're back stronger. Okay, so first thing we're doing is gonna be this one. We're gonna have to get her back up or running. We can't have her sitting around or not being able to run. That's one thing. And I tell you what, man, that salt does something different to freaking bolts. This bad boy did not want to come off. I got the right one. I cleaned it up. I made sure I cleaned it up before I stick anything in there. But boy, I tell you what. So like this mounts into this plate, but a little bit further down. So I was able to get access to it from back here to throw some heat back there. I don't know if you can see that. Anyway, there's a little hole back there where this goes into, and I was able to throw some heat back there. Boy, I tell you what, that salt is something else. Man, so the only thing is the salt was like right here at the edge right here, and boy, that thing was tight. And that's like a 3/8 bolt. That's probably a max 45, 48 foot-pounds, even at grade 8, you know? Wow, that's insane. Well, here we go, we got it on there. Actually, the most difficult part was trying to get that doggone thing around the tensioner. So this dummy pulley right here that connects both of them, is it a dummy pulley? No, that looks like water pump. Yeah, so that water pump pulley, that looks like, I don't know, y'all correct me in the comment, that looks like a water pump to me. It's got the water filter running to it. I mean the coolant filter, the coolant hose down it. I'm gonna say water pump. Yeah. So this part right here where that pulley goes, that's the water pump, and that connects both of the belts for your AC and stuff like that. But this is right here, I'm quite impressed because it's actually a really, really nice belt. It grips on those freaking grooves very good, so it's really hard to spin it. So you just gotta before you start the truck or whatever, you just gotta make sure every groove is on there. Just gonna have to eyeball it physically. Now, what makes this difficult job is this part right here. You see how close that fan is to that belt? I think that's what makes it difficult, but at the same time makes it better, just in case you you destroy your fan clutch just falls off for some reason. It actually is a little bar in between the radiator and the radiator fan and the fan. There's a little bar in between. I don't know if you can see that one. That actually makes it saves your radiator. I mean, somewhat, I guess you could say that. You're not gonna be able to replace your fan clutch though without removing the radiator, or maybe even just tilting it back. So you're gonna have to unbolt it from the top and then tilt the radiator down or forward to get to your fan clutch. On the Detroit engines, the DD15 I actually did the fan clutch myself, and we did it in Spokane where it's freaking cold. I linked the video right here. You know, I'm actually just happy, man. I did get something done. So we've got that part done. Now we gotta tackle these shocks. I'm not taking no for an answer. No. Coffee first. Let's get to it. Man, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I'm starting to miss my Freightliner. Wow. Ain't nothing going right, man. It really isn't. Nothing is going freaking right. Okay, so how we doing so far? Well, I miss my Freightliner. That's all I got to say. And let me tell you, God goodness, I'm thinking, is the area that the truck come from, the salted area, it's making it so difficult. Everything has to be heated. Even after heating it up, it's just, it does not want to come out. Nothing wants to come out, man. My freaking half-inch impact, that son of a gun's having a hard time. It's making its money's worth. Like, I got the Makita one. I'm glad I did, because she's performing quite well, holding up real nice. But one thing I wanted to show, though. Okay, and so we got OEM shocks, right? OEM looks the same. I wanted OEM because we're dealing with tires. Tires, man, you need to get some good parts, you know. So this is non-OEM, and you can see why I went with the non-OEM compared to the OEM. Look at that. And this one costs about 100 more than that one. There goes that part number, boys, or the company name, I should say. Come check them out. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and end the day here. We got one shock left to do. Except, boy, I tell you, this bad design. They actually should have had this part right here sticking this way a little bit, so it's straight up and down. Make it closer to that instead of having that little spacer there. Yeah. This truck being in the northern part of the country where there's a lot of salt, There's probably a lot of moisture that got in between that bolt and that little spacer right there. So that thing, I'm sure, is probably built into this part, or maybe they're just regular spacers. I have no idea. I don't think I'm gonna mess with them anymore. I'm not gonna spend no more time trying to take that out. I think what we're gonna have to do, I mean, this is really don't want to do, but we're gonna have to just resort to the U-bolts. I think it's probably not gonna be easy either, but I just don't see any other way. If that side is that bad, this side I'm pretty sure is not gonna be any easier, you know. uh if I mess with the U-bolts and just take that whole thing out, I mean, if I was gonna mess with the U-bolt anyway, why not just maybe just cut that damn thing out and try to hammer it out of there? I don't know what that looks like as far as like, I don't know if that's a spacer. I don't think it is. I think that's part of the whole thing. I mean, they would have had to press that in there. Okay, so I cleaned it up a little bit, and the threads, those are in pretty rough shape. So, I was thinking, well, maybe we just cut the U-bolts. Cut the U-bolts, put some new U-bolts in, right? Easier said than done. I know that's not gonna be easy as far as like doing U-bolts and stuff, because number one, I'm gonna need a 600 freaking foot-pound torque wrench. So a 3/4 inch with long ass adapter, and I would still need to remove this, right? I would still need to remove this, the shock mount bracket, to either try to take that thing out, and it is part of it. I looked it up. I looked up the part number. This little piece is actually part of this. So that's good news. That's a bit of a good news for me. I think what I'm gonna try to do is, so I cleaned them up. They don't look that bad. The U-bolts don't look that bad. Over here on the threads, yeah, they look pretty bad, but the U-bolts themselves don't look that bad. I think what I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna go ahead and cut this bolt out. We're gonna try to cut that son of a gun out, take that shock out, and see if we can spray some things in there to try to get those suckers out, man. Whew, I'm running out of options. This thing is being very, very, very difficult. I'm gonna go ahead and end the vlog there. I think that's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna try. Cut the bolts and try to take the bolts out from the shock mount, the bottom shock mount, and just, if they don't come out, we'll cut the U-bolts and then put some new U-bolts in there. Because I've done some U-bolts in my life. They're not easy. They're not easy at all, you know. I mean, yeah, I could probably get a torque wrench, like a 600-pound torque wrench or whatever, but I don't know if I want to do that work. That's a lot of work. I can't end a video like that. I feel like the energy is a little off, I'm still very much so motivated with this truck, with fixing this truck. This is nothing, what got me thinking is, like, some people that do try this and be like, they get discouraged off of this because, this is everything you touch on a truck is turning a 10-minute job into a 2-hour job. That's that's very, very, very discouraging. And I'm not lying to you. I'm not gonna lie to you and tell you that this is an easy task. I mean, like, shock job, max 2 hours on all 6 of these shocks. But for some reason, PACCAR wanted to design it a little bit different. For some reason, I have no idea. But and then your just those 2 front shocks, that's gonna cost us a lot of time. The freaking belt, the tensioner. It's just one thing after the other. It's just, I think it's because the truck has been in a salted area, so it's gonna be a little bit more difficult to work with it. But I'm not giving up. I ain't not even a little bit. We're not even close to giving up, you know. So, but anyway, this New Year's Eve, I put in a total of, I would say, a full day's worth of work on it already. Um, from everything that I've done to it, I'd say I put in a full day's worth of work, and that's what we got done. Is four, two shocks, two torque rods, and belts. Oh, hey, and the switch, and the switch that saved us $1,200. So I think we're gonna end it at that. We will see y'all. Happy New Year's, and we will see y'all in the next video.